Hello, it's Wednesday the 16th of November and it's 9:16 p.m. I like to start with that because that's how Michael starts with these videos. And it's probably only a bit of truth what's in his videos, so I thought I might as well give it a go doing it like that too. But you see, with mine's truthful all the way through. And he knows that. That's why he's going back on the fact with diabetes. On one of my posts I've wrote about, I knew about diabetes from being a child. He made it sound like on his Facebook, but he'd only just found out. Then, what else have they gone back on? Being in the funeral industry. He puts for 35 to 45 years. Well, my Facebook proves he hasn't been in the funeral industry for that amount of time. Yeah, he did work experience in a funeral industry before you go out to work, but that's not been in funeral industry for 35 to 45 years. It depends on which post you see as well. A bit like Albert, isn't it? Because at one point Albert were like 89, he were 85. Bear in mind he died in the same year. So I don't get how your followers haven't clicked on to see. The thing is, to be a liar, you've got to have a good memory. And I ain't got a good memory for starters. And I don't lie. But you just lie for the sake of it. There's no need. Absolute no need. What other posts have you lied about? It's like I use your own grandson for Albert with ice creams. That lot of it were just a compulsive lie. Like Cheryl's sister's son, who came from London. A Londoner had heard about you. But yeah, it's his step nephew / cousin once removed, depending on which way you want to look at it. If you want to look at it as though it's marriage first or cousins first, whatever. But yeah, the lies are always there. See, my nan, his mum, always used to say, if he said it was raining outside, she'd go and look outside the window to check. So people in the family all know you're a compulsive liar. I'd like to see what you would say with my post about what you did to my back. I can't wait for you to comment on that. Because that's all true. Everything what I spoke about is truth. And when I've spoke to the police previously, I've said I will openly do a lie detector. I'd love to. Because I will not fail. I know I won't, because I am telling the truth. This is my life and this is my story. So yeah. I also want to say I've been receiving a lot of messages from people like asking me if I'm okay and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just plodding on. So what some messages you're all like mentioning about meeting up, I haven't messaged back to them. See, the thing is, I've got I'm very peculiar with my circle group. I don't like publicity. I'm not really bothered about having friends. I'd say 3 friends. Now, one of them I've known since being at school. I've known him for 14 years. And she's not a friend, she's my sister. So yeah, there's her. And then with her, there's a partner, and I've known him for a long time too. So yeah, I've got them, but they just come as one. Then there's also a man what I'm friends with. We go on play dates with his kids and stuff like that. He's brilliant, really down to earth. He's nice. And then there's somebody else what I've got as a friend. I don't know if they class me as a friend, but they are there to listen. I don't like having, I don't know how to put it. I don't like knowing many people. I'm usually keeping myself to myself. On my normal Facebook, I've only got 33 friends. Now, he's saying, but I like attention and all of this lot. This is totally out of my comfort zone. I like people, I just don't like the communication part, and I think it's all awkward. So, the fact that I'm doing this is making me a lot more stronger. The fact and I think it is helping. It is helping me, because I've pushed all of this in the back of my mind, all of the stuff what he's done to me, or what I know of, into the back of my mind. And there is more, there's still more to come. But, and I hadn't actually processed it properly on exactly what happens. It's like the people what's been deceased, what I've been forced to see. I remember them as, it might sound weird, but as a waxwork, because that's the only way my brain was able to kind of function it. I knew it weren't right what he'd done. I knew it weren't right when he were moving gentleman's mouth and saying hello and all of this lot, making it look like he were talking. I knew it weren't right when he locked me in the room and he was prepping the lady. So, and forcing me to watch when I didn't want to. And I were getting threats if I didn't. I know it ain't right. And in my head, I just hid it and disguised it with something else, because I think that's the way how I've coped. I'm coming to terms with what he has actually put me through. And it has been torture. It is torture. But this is how he is. It's who he is. The old nicey, fronty guy what you're seeing, it's just a front. It's a complete and utter front. It's like, nowhere is he saying I'm lying. I'd love for him to comment and say one of my posts is a lie, because they are not. They are not a lie. But whereas this things what he's saying about his own mum are even lies. He can't even tell the truth about that. He can't tell the truth about his own family. And if just the people what he's actually hurt by doing business with, because technically I'm not a victim. From police in 2016, from me phoning up regarding him then, with what harassment what I was getting from him then, they just said it's a family issue, blah de blah, which it weren't. But the police have also made me feel like I weren't a victim in the past. And I'm not a victim compared to you who's used him. And plus you were going through like the worst time of your life. And I don't want pity at all. This isn't what I don't want pity, because I'm not a victim. And that's what I am standing up to it. I've been frightened of him for years and years. But no, and I've also been manipulated by family to keep my mouth shut. And I'm trying to windle the way around, making out as though there weren't an issue. Well, clearly there was. I was sat on a dead body. As a child, as a young child. Clearly there is an issue. There's an issue with him. There's an issue with how he reacts. There's an issue with abuse. So, yeah. I'm ranting a bit here. I'm going off subject. But I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I have got the support, so you don't need to be offering me support or anything like that. I am absolutely fine. And I've got the good members of the family in my life, the ones what I choose, and then I've got friends who I choose to be my family too. And that is basically all that I need. It's nice to see, but there's people what are waking up to him. Freddie Starr, that's a good one, isn't it? Freddie Starr. See, when Michael did Protec Alarms, I don't know if you did know, but he did Protec Alarms. He used to do Protec Alarms because obviously he's done funeral directing for 35 to 45 years. But when he did funeral alarms, it was the same publicity stunts, going to the Star. see, there weren't social media and stuff then, and burglaries used to be in store a lot and things like that. But we know store like telling lies, don't we? They'll do out for a store. But yeah, when he were doing Protec, that were an alarm business what he owned. He was preying on vulnerability, disabled, elderly, like he does now. And say children, just practically same. And while they were doing the alarms, and he was running to if there were a story in store about a burglary, he'd go running to the store. Oh, I'll do it for free. But there were a lady on Mansfield Road who were disabled, who supposedly did the alarms for free. Once the store and press weren't involved, he went knocking on door for money. I'm not saying he does that with funerals, goes back for money, but he did with Protec. See, his motto, me growing up, was all publicity is good publicity, including the bad. So with him, he thinks that's all what he's bothered about. So Freddie Starr, it was a way to gain followers, for his name to be out there. It's a way for him to be like Jimmy Savile. Because when you think about it, Jimmy Savile was hiding in plain sight. This is what Michael's doing. Now, the sooner people wake up to him, the sooner the terror and chaos will stop. He's still boasting on his Facebook, stating, but he's going to be putting people's address online. He's still using his followers as a cult. Oh, clearly, they're just so into his world, but they're not actually seeing the bigger picture. And what he has actually wrote doesn't make sense. Because in a lot of his, like Albert, the post where he's lying, he slips up somewhere. So, and like baby Tommy, why make him up? Which parents are going to want just a funeral director to do a funeral without them attending? It just don't make sense at all. If people just sit back, go through his actual Facebook and look, you will see the errors on what he puts. And also, you'll also realise, but he can spell, it's just an act. If you look on my Facebook, Jennifer Fogg, you will see a post where I was in a discussion with him recently on Sheffield Story about him running to press every 2 seconds. You will see his spelling's absolutely perfect. See, he knows most people, down-to-earth people, aren't very, very good with the grammar and spelling. So he does it to fit in, for you to believe he's the person that you want him to be. He adapts to you. You ask each person, go around Doro or Totley, he'll be a total different person to them to what he has been to someone round Woodthorpe Manor. I'm not saying there's out wrong with Woodthorpe Manor, because these are areas where I'm from. But what I'm stating is, he is a chameleon, is the only way of describing it. He's a chameleon. And he's just adapting to you. He becomes the person that he thinks you will like. Now, when he becomes nasty and aggressive, it's because he hasn't put on the correct show. And there's been cracks. So yeah, some of you have personally witnessed bitter tongue and nastiness, which is it, verbally, and I can guarantee some being threats and physically. That's the person he is. So, yeah. But I do appreciate the kind messages, like I said, but honestly, I am alright. I wanted to put that out there too. I'm fine. The only thing what I care about is me and my daughter and my family. That's it. And obviously my friends too, but yeah, that's all what I care about, and I've literally got everything what I need in my life. So Yeah. Right, I'm going to leave that here and see if I do one tomorrow, okay?